trying to get this thing set up just where I want it. I think that's the good spot. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Thursday night free live stamping class with Barb. It is Thursday, obviously. It is 4 p.m. Pacific, 5 Mountain, 6 Central, and 7 Eastern, where you will find me live on YouTube every Thursday night, unless I'm not live on Thursday night, which normally is only if I'm out of town or if it's a holiday. Or if my daughter shows up unexpected to visit, then sometimes I take the day off. But none of those things have happened today, so here I am. So welcome to all of you that are here. A lot of you guys are already here before I got here in the chat, and I see a lot of weather updates. Let's see, we've got some 44 in Minnesota. I heard it was a little rainy over that way today. I talked to a couple customers on the phone, and they said it was a little rainy in the Michigan area, so I'm assuming Minnesota maybe has the same kind of thing going on. Who knows? We've got Beverly in Oregon. Let's see, Patricia in New York. Loretta's in St. Louis. Cheryl's in Colorado. And let's see, Sharon is on. Hello, Amy, Bonnie. Hello, everybody. And hello, Francie. Francie is the sweetest. Francie sent me an email gift card for my favorite bracelets. I love these Pura Vida bracelets, and I have quite a few of them. This little paperclip chain one is my absolute favorite. I wear this one all day, every day. I never take it off. And then I kind of change out my other bracelet depending on what it might be the holiday or what mood I'm in or whatever. So thank you so much, Francie. That was super sweet of you. So I did get to go shopping on the Pura Vida website and get myself some more bracelets. So as soon as they do show up, I will definitely share them with everyone so you can see what I got. And yeah, super excited. So thank you so much. Also, I have a bunch of cards that I'm going to share as soon as I flip my camera. I've got a lot here that I need to share with you. And I also need to give Lisa in Maryland a giant shout out. She sent me this fun box. Look how cute this box is. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't show addresses, right? Look how cute this box is. So cute. And inside this super fun, cute box was a t-shirt and a bag. And she has a little note on here that says, "You go, girl." And then look at this t-shirt, you guys. Look at what that says. It says 1 in a million. So this was her little package to me for my $1 million in sales. Disclaimer, less than 0.001% of the company people demonstrators actually do that. We always have to say that. Then she also sent me this fun little thing. It's Halloween Oreos, which I love, and it was wrapped up super cute. And then if I can get this towel out, this is one of those Swedish dish towels, and she might not even know this, but I love these things. I use these things every day in my kitchen. And so she got me one of those cute little Swedish reusable dish towels, which is amazing. So thank you so much, Lisa. And then she did give me a card, which I will share when I flip my camera around. But I just wanted to give her a big shout out because that was a really fun package to get. I got that yesterday. I need to wash my shirt before I wear it. So I will be sporting that probably next week for you guys. So yeah, so thank you so much, Lisa. I appreciate that. You guys are so sweet to me. I just really appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. And I'll be going through these cards and thanking everybody for that too. So thank you guys. Okay, what's going on around here? Nothing. There's literally nothing going on around here. There's a football game on tonight, Minnesota at the Rams, I believe. Don't care who wins. But I'm sure there's some of you out there that do care who wins. But we will be watching. My husband started watching. We were watching The Guardian. I think I told you guys that. We had found that on Paramount on accident, kind of. And we did watch all 3 seasons and we did enjoy it. And so now he needed something new to watch. And I've given him all kinds of suggestions, tons of things that you guys have suggested to me. And he always is, he's very weird about what he wants to watch on TV. So we happened to be kind of just going through Amazon Prime and we found The Rockford Files. I'm sure there are a lot of you gals and maybe some guys that definitely watched The Rockford Files back in the mid 1970s, along with me. Somebody asked if I'm going to trim my bangs too. I do trim my own bangs, as I'm sure you guys know. And after the little Hairgate incident with Kelly, I'm going to be a lot more careful about what scissors I'm using because I use both of those pairs of scissors too. The thinning shears, which kind of look like a comb, and then the regular shears. So basically what I do is I trim straight across, to get it to the spot that I want it to be. And then I'll go in with the thinning shears and get it so it's not just, it's got a little substance to it. So in case there are some of you out here that maybe don't know, poor Kelly, I had mentioned to her about using thinning shears to kind of get your bangs a little more wispy and not so, bulky and flat and straight. And she's been doing that for a while. And unfortunately for her, about a week and a half ago, she was doing that and grabbed the wrong pair of scissors and had a chunk of hair about like this much. And she chopped it about an inch from the root. So not a very good look. She did get the clip-in bangs, and you know what? They look really good. I was so happy because I've seen people wear them like on Instagram Reels or Facebook or TikToks or whatever, but I didn't know if they actually, because you know how when you're doing a video, you can make things look, you can make things look the way you want them to look, especially if you're an influencer and you have all those tools and special apps and all that kind of stuff. And so Kelly does have a lot going on in her defense. So, I'm not blaming her at all because I told her, I said, oh my gosh, I said, not that I'm glad that you did that, but that is totally something that I would do. So I need to be very mindful of what scissors I'm using now. So so she did get the clip-in bangs and she did send me a picture of her wearing them and they actually look really good. So I was pretty happy about that. Yeah. What else can you do, right, Marva? You laugh or you cry or you do both. But so anyways, that's the Hairgate incident that's been circling the web. Probably not really. Maybe in our little area of the world, our little stamping corner with Dina, Kelly, and I. So yeah, poor dear Kelly is going to look a little funny for a while because your hair only grows about a half an inch a month. And I think she's got at least 2 inches, probably at least 2 inches for it to grow out before it would be able to like blend in with the rest of them and maybe not look so weird. So anyways, yes, she does. She is amazing and she does have a lot going on. So yeah, totally get that. So anyways, that's a little bit of Hairgate. So yeah, next time you guys see her on Sunday, she'll probably be wearing the bangs. Oh, maybe she'll wear her hat again. I don't know. But hopefully she'll be wearing the bangs so you can see that they actually look pretty good. They actually blended in with her hair color and everything really nicely, I thought. So anyways, there you go. So that's not my life, of course. My life is not super eventful. My husband is working today. Today's his last day of the week, so he will have Friday, Saturday, Sunday off this weekend, which is nice. So we can hang out together a little bit. I usually always work every day, but I don't work all day every day. I do work every day, but not all day every day. So we will be able to hang out a little bit and do that. So it looks like a lot of you guys saw her live, and she did do a little quick what do you call that? Like a sneak peek or something of the bangs. It's not pretty. And since now that she has the clip-in bangs, I have stopped. Whenever we Snapchat, I was always doing this. I was always holding my hair up and I would blah, 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 say whatever. So, a little bit of, what is that, solidarity or something like that with her situation. But I don't have to do that anymore because now she actually has some bangs. So I don't have to feel as bad. So there you go. So that is the Hairgate story. And again, like I said, we've got really nothing going on. We're just going to be watching the game tonight. We're going to be eating some leftovers. We had some, I think I've told you guys we got a teriyaki madness here in town here a couple months ago. And this is the second time we've eaten there. And both times it's been very good. And the portions that they give that we order are way too big for one meal. So we break it up into 2 meals. And so we're going to be having leftover teriyaki madness tonight. So yay for us, right? Okay, so I guess I'll flip the camera. We'll go through a little bit of business and then I'll show you all my amazing cards that I have gotten from a lot of you guys congratulating me on my milestone. And I want to thank you guys all for that. Some of you have messaged me. Some of you have sent me cards. And some of you have sent me gifts. And thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. Okay, so as you probably know, we have free shipping going on through tomorrow. So that's through October 24th at like 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time. Everything with Stampin' Up is Mountain Time. Mountain Time, like I'm in Mountain Time. So it's 5 o'clock for me right now. So if you're on the East Coast, it would be 2 o'clock in the morning is when the sale would end. If you're on the West Coast, then it would be 11 p.m. your time when the sale would end tomorrow night. So we still have it on all orders of at least $75 or more. And do be aware that that is if you have host rewards to redeem and you put $75 in your cart and you redeem $5 and your order is now $70, you will not get free shipping. It has to be $75 after all discounts are taken off. Okay, so that just means you get to order more stuff, which is always awesome. And then I have a special running. If you order $100, then you'll get the free shipping, plus you'll get a free embellishment from me. And if your order is $150, you'll get the free shipping, embellishment, and a pack of handmade cards that I will mail to you probably next week. So keep that in mind. I would love to have your business. If you don't currently have somebody that you're working with, then I would love to help you with that. So all right, we have the free shipping. We still have the starter kit going on, the special. And I keep telling people, if you're placing an order with me and your order is over $35 and you're not a demonstrator, you should be a demonstrator because you have nothing to lose by spending $35 and getting $125 in product. I mean, there's nothing to lose. There's no penalties if you don't meet your quarterly minimums. You don't have to do any sort of parties. You don't have to post anything on Facebook. I mean, you can if you want to, obviously, and I will help you if you want to build this into even a small business. I mean, mine's a small business, but if you just want to do a few little things, maybe one little class a month or something, I am happy to help you. And if you don't want to do anything, that is also fantastic with me. And there's no pressure from me to do anything you don't want to do. If you have questions and you want to do something, I am here to help you. I just had another gal join my team today. So yay, welcome Nancy. Super excited for that. And I would love to welcome you too if you are deciding that you have an order of $35 and you want to get $125 worth of stuff. Your kit does ship for free. So your $125 in product does ship for free. And then it's pretty much instantaneous where you get an email from Stampin' Up! With your login information, and you could go immediately back into the website and you could order $75, get host rewards, your demonstrator discount, and free shipping. So it's just a great opportunity. All right, our Modern Christmas online class, everything is done. I mean, I shouldn't say everything is done. We have filmed all the videos. We've got all that. We are now in the process of cutting all the cardstock packets, and they will be going out next week. I'm pretty sure it's next week. It's got to be next week. And then the PDF will post to Stamp Happy Academy, and we will email it out to everyone. We still have a few packets left, so if you're interested in getting some amazing cards using this fabulous suite of products, then there is a link in the description of this video. My 12 weeks of holidays ideas. I'm pretty sure it's week number 4 that's going out tomorrow. So if you haven't already subscribed to my newsletter, be sure that you do that. There is a link in the description. And every Friday I'm sending out my 12 weeks of holiday ideas, PDF files. So if you already are subscribed to my newsletter, you should have been getting them already. And if you're not, then perhaps it's gone to your junk folder, or you might want to add my email, barb@barbstamps.com, to your email contacts. And that way, then emails from me would come into your email inbox. So there we go. We still have these amazing advent calendars available, and I still have not opened mine, you guys. I can't decide if I want to do like this unboxing kind of video, like my live reaction to the stuff, and then open all the windows. I haven't decided. So I have it sitting here and I keep looking at it every single day, and I just can't decide what to do with it yet. So I have not opened it yet, but this is a great day to get this because it is $99 and you would get it with free shipping. So that would save you a little over $10 to buy it today. So there you go. You could also put it in your starter kit and get it for $35. All right, when you order in my online store, which I super much appreciate, if your order is at least $20, you get Stampin' Rewards from Stampin' Up, and you get my gift with purchase PDF. This month it's the Modern Christmas, which is not the same cards as what's in my online class. Orders of $35 or more get the Stampin' Rewards, this class PDF, and an invitation to the Stamp Happy Party next month on the 19th of November. Orders of $50 or more get everything I just said, plus you get another tutorial, which just happens to be the same Modern Christmas. So if you're interested in getting, what is this, like 22 ideas for the Modern Christmas suite, plus if you get our class, that's 6 more, order in my online store. All right, and then if your order is 75, obviously you get the free shipping plus all of that stuff. 100, all of that stuff, plus the embellishment, 150, all of that stuff, plus an embellishment and the pack of cards. I've talked about this a few times, and every time I talk about it, I get more people that order it from my online store, so I keep wanting to talk about it. It's a free download for your Stampin' Blends markers, these little ends that you can stick on there, and I have a free download on my blog, barbstamps.com/shop, and you will find it in there. Stamp Happy Academy, Dina should be live next week for the final live of October, and then I'll be live the week after with the first live of November. And our PDF for the Modern Christmas class is going to post next week. And our Stamp Happy party again is November 19th. So it's a great thing. It's only $20 a month. Team members get it at a 75% discount once they've placed their first order as a demonstrator. So if you're a demonstrator on my team and you've placed your first order, then you can get this for $5 a month, which is an amazing price. And adhesive kits, I always have those for sale. You can get those with the link in the description of this video. All right, cards. The one on the top happens to be from Lisa, who gave me that really fun box. Look how fun this is. And look what's inside. Look at these fun confettis. They're like little fall things. We've got some acorns, pumpkins. I'm going to save these, Lisa, and I'm going to reuse them because I think they're amazing. I used to actually stick this type of stuff in cards that I would send to my brother. And it was funny because most of the time he would forget that I did it, and he would open it, and it was the tinier ones, and this stuff would go everywhere. And I just loved hearing that. And then she also gave me a Starbucks card. So that was super sweet of her. So I can go get some of my chai lattes. I don't drink coffee, but I love a Starbucks chai latte, you guys. Oh, I don't know if I really showed you the front of the card. Look how beautiful that is. Fantastic card. Thank you so much, Lisa. I love it. All right, here is another card. This is from Loretta. And this was another card from somebody congratulating me for my million. So Loretta, thank you so much. Love the pink polka dots. I am a huge polka dot fan. Put that over there. This one is from Kathleen, another congratulations card. So love this old stamp set, or what's it called? Changing Leaves or something? One of my favorites. So thank you, Kathleen. I appreciate that. We've got this fun one here. This is from Rebecca. And she sent me this amazing card. I love this color combo. And I'm having a hot flash. Let me take my jacket off. Good grief. Why do we even have to have hot flashes? It shouldn't even be a thing. Anyways, beautiful card from Rebecca. Thank you so much. All right. Our next one is from, oh, I tore the envelope. Hold on. Let me see if I can piece it back together. Or maybe it's, oh, it's from Lisa. This is one of my team members. So I appreciate this very much, Lisa. Look at this. She used that gorgeous, gorgeous perennial lavender paper, and then the perennial lavender stamps and dies. Love it. So thank you so much, Lisa. Let's see. This one is from another one of my team members. This is from Susan. I think this must be one of our kits. Super cute. Love everything about this. So thank you so much, Susan. This one is from... This is from another one of my, or she was a team member. Now she's back to being a customer, but who knows, she might join again. This is from Jennifer, celebrating my million. And look at this, is one of those long, tall cards. Love this. And she used that fun sunflower folder to make those little squares. So that's pretty awesome. All right. Then I have, this is from Joanne. So this is another one congratulating me on my millions in sales, which this is just so much fun, you guys. I've been having so much fun getting these cards from you guys. This is from Nancy. Love this. Greens together are amazing. And you throw a little bit of yellow in there. Chef's kiss. This was actually for, let's see, she ordered from me, and I think I sent out a goodie packet to her. So that was her thank you. So thank you, Nancy, for thanking me. This is from Barbara. This is one of Kelly's team members who sent me congratulations for my million. Barbara has an amazing name. Thank you so much, Barbara. This is from Debbie. This is a beautiful card. And this is, I also think, for my million. Let me check the note. Oh, no, this is to thank me for the product launch party that we did in September. I think she probably sent one to Dina and Kelly also, but isn't that fun with the Lights of Aurora stuff? Beautiful. So thanks, Debbie. Appreciate that. And the last one that I have right now is from Margaret. Is that right? Is that her? Oh, Peg. I was going to say, I thought she went by Peg. This is another fabulous card for my $1 million in sales. So I've just been spoiled rotten, you guys. Thank you so much. You don't know how much that, well, you probably do. You probably get cards in the mail too. So you know how much fun it is to go out to the mailbox and find cards, right? Okay, moving on to our projects for the day. I am using our 2 Snowflake bundles. One of them is from the online exclusives that came out in September, which I believe it is this one here, the Snowflake Kisses. And we have some pretty fun dies in here. I have both of these new Snowflake sets, and I was getting confused about what went in what package, and so I just photocopied or copied that off the internet and stuck it in my sleeve with my die so that I can remember what all goes in here. So we have this really big die that does this. I happened to cut it out of some glimmer paper, and I thought that was pretty awesome. It might look better if it's against white. Look how the detail in that, how fun. And then in addition, you can add this circle to the middle of that, and it will cut out a little bit more of the center, and it will give you this. If I can get it out of here, we'll give you these 2 pieces. So you get a little half circle and then the big circle. And so you could do, that, or you could use this to put around a different color or whatever you want to do. Just lots of fun. And then you can see we have all these other, this is like a corner die that you could put into the corner of a card. So this is what I did here. So you can see I've got the corner die on the paper just to kind of show you what happens with it. Then we have 3 other dies. I don't know where the other one went. It's around here. Oh, here we go. 3 other dies, this one, and this one. And then we have this little die here that does these little fun things. And what else? Oh, then we have a label, which is really fun. And then we have these tiny little snowflakes. So for this particular card, what I've done here is I have taken a piece of white cardstock and I have die cut all of these out. So they're not on there in any specific order. I just threw them all on my quarter sheet of white, and then here they all are. So I have these all on my paper upside down. So the nice side of them is down on my paper. And I have taken my pixie spray and I have sprayed over the top of these so that they will become tacky, sticky, if you will, so that I can do this fun little thing that I'm sure I didn't come up with this, but I did this morning and I just loved it so much I had to share it with you guys. So Pixie Spray is a light tack repositionable adhesive. I normally use it for stencils or decorative masks, but it worked out really well for this project today too. So I do have a link to this in the description of the video. If it's something that you don't have but you want to add to your arsenal, you can get it on Amazon. Okay, so this piece of paper is just so I could spray. You can kind of probably see some of the Pixie Spray dots all over this. So it is tacky on the blue too. So my snowflakes are also tacky. So what I'm going to do with those is I'm going to place them on this layer of white. And then I'm going to do some blending brush action with them. So I need to get them off of my sheet. So I'm going to peel these off, and like this would go in the corner. So I am going to put that up in the corner because that came out of this particular die right here, so you can kind of see that it was in the corner. Okay. And then we're just going to take all of these dies, all these die cuts, and we're just going to stick them all over my piece of white here. And then this little guy, I'm going to stick like that. This little partial piece is also would go at the top. So I am going to stick that up here at the top. Oops, I need to flip it over because like I said, I stuck all of the sticky on the back side of all of these. Okay, this one also is like on an edge. So when I pull this off, I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to stick it on the edge. Okay, that one. Let's see, then we have this one here. And I'm just going to kind of stick that about like this. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to kind of put it at an angle, sort of, if you will. But I think, no, I'm just going to leave that. I'm just going to move this over just a tiny bit and stick that down. And we're going to pull this one off. And I'm going to stick this one down here in the corner. Okay. And then I have these little ones. So I did die cut those tiny ones twice. These little teeny tiny ones I'm not using. I just tossed those. But I wanted 2 of these because I thought this shape is kind of interesting. So I wanted to stick one there. And then I have this little tiny one. And I think I'm going to stick it right here. And then the last one that I'm going to use, I'm just going to kind of put right here. Okay, so I have put all those on, so they all have pixie spray on them. So I'm just pressing them down to my white layer so that they don't come off when we're using our blending brushes. And then I'm going to bring in a piece of copy paper so that you can sort of see. And then I have a place to go off the edges, if you will. So I've got 4 colors of ink. I've got Gorgeous Grape, Azure Afternoon, Balmy Blue, and Highland Heather. Okay. And then I, being the crazy person that I am, I have a blending brush for all those colors. I like to have a brush for every color. So I have just accumulated brushes over the course of, years. I didn't like buy 50 brushes all at once. I bought a couple packages and then I bought another package and then another package. And now I pretty much have a brush for every color. You don't have to do that. You could have one for blues, one for purples, one for pinks, one for reds. I just don't. That's just not how I roll. So I have one for every color. And then I have some clear blocks because I like to blend my brushes off on clear blocks. And so what we're going to do is we are going to kind of try to put multiple colors along this. And to do that, I have a piece of scrap cardstock that I pulled out of my scrap drawer and I just tore it down the length of it. So it's not completely straight. So it has a little bit of wave to it. And I'm just going to stick this on here. And then I'm going to put my first color on. Is that how I want to do it? Sure. So I'm just going to kind of hold that over the top of my snowflakes. And I'm going to start with my lightest color, which is the Balmy Blue. Let me push everything else out of the way. Bring in my Balmy Blue brush and a block. So I am going to rub my brush into my Balmy Blue ink and get it nice and inky. And then I like to tap it off on a clear block and then kind of rub around just to kind of get the ink on here, hopefully nice and even so that I don't come in here and make a big blobby mess. And it still could be a big blobby mess. Who knows? We're going to find out. And you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to try. Well, nope, I can't do it. It's not going to work. We're going to just change the angle of this just a bit. Okay, so here we go. So we're just going to add some Balmy Blue right here, kind of along the whole edge, all the way down to the bottom. Am I still on the frame? Yes. Okay, I just want to make sure that I have it. And then if I need some more ink, I can come back to my block to pick some up and continue doing that. So, okay, that's what we have first of all. Now I'm going to move this away a little bit, and I'm going to put it down, and I'm going to bring in my Azure Afternoon, and I'm going to do the same thing with the Azure Afternoon color. So here's my Azure Afternoon, and I will use another block. So I'm just going to pick up the color with my brush, tap it on there, roll it around, tap it some more, just to kind of get it hopefully nice and blended around on my brush. And then I kind of try to start with a light touch and then kind of press a little harder as I realize, okay, I don't have any harsh edges or lines. And so now I'm free to kind of just go a little bit ham on it and add this next color. We're going to add some more. I think my pad needs to be re-inked because it's not quite as dark as I would like it to be. So we're going to keep going here. I'm going to, oops, I moved my paper. Ugh, that is always a bad thing. Let's see if I can get it back to where it was. I think that's where it was. Yes, I was not holding it very tightly. Oh gosh, I'm doing it again. Maybe I need to tack my white piece down. That probably would make a little more sense. Okay. So there we have our blue and our blue. And now we're going to add some Highland Heather. I think I am going to tack this down just a tiny little bit to hopefully keep it in place. So now I'm going to go for the Highland Heather. So I should close these pads because we all know what can happen when there's pads opened, right? All right, I guess I should watch your comments too. I always never look at the comments. Okay. Highland Heather, and I need a block, so we'll use this one. So we're going to pick up some color here, kind of tap it, rub it around on our block, get a little blended action going here on our brush. So hopefully we don't have a crazy amount here. So I'm going to try to start lightly, and then as I feel like my brush is kind of blended, then I'll press a little bit harder and get this area covered up. So I'm trying to blend a little bit on the line, a little bit here also. But you also want to have, you know, nice color in your white area too. Oh, and you can see I kind of messed up right there. But the way this card's going to come out, it's not going to be so, you're not going to really notice it. But I love how the pixie spray makes my snowflakes stick to my paper. So it wasn't that my snowflakes were coming off, it was just that my paper was moving because I didn't put it in a, I didn't stick it down. Okay, so now we've got our Highland Heather here. And then our final color is going to be the Gorgeous Grape. And we'll finish that off with Gorgeous Grape. Do the same thing that we've done with all the others. Get some ink on the brush. This one's kind of dark, so I kind of want to be a little more careful with this one. We'll see how careful I can actually be, right? Maybe I'll turn this around so that I can kind of hold on to it back here and add some Gorgeous Grape. Okay, that's working out pretty good. So the key, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get multiple snowflakes being more than one color. That's kind of what I'm looking for here, is to have the snowflakes be more than one color. Come back in with our Gorgeous Grape again, because I want this to be a little darker. I would like it to be darker than my Highland Heather, but I think I went a little ham on my Highland Heather, so I don't know as though I'm going to get this to be too much darker. But we're going to try, because it needs to be a little darker so that it actually looks like we have two different colors here. Okay, I think that's working out pretty good. Okay, where's my Highland Heather brush? I am going to try to get a little bit more down here at the point. Okay, so we have all of this fabulous color on here. So now what I want to do is I want to take off my snowflakes, okay? So the pixie spray is repositionable, so it should come up. You might have to pick at it a little bit to get it to do what you want, but you also want to make sure that it sticks. So it's kind of a fine line between, you know, sticking too much and not sticking enough. But it should be good if we're just careful. So now look what we're getting. We're going to get, actually, I probably don't need this ugly green paper in here anymore. And maybe if I use my Take Your Pick tool, I can get under there. Yes, I can. Look at that. And so we're just going to pick up all of these snowflakes, and we're not going to throw them away. We're going to use them. We're going to put these back on the card, but we're going to put them back on the card in such a way that we have, you know, like on the opposite colors. So this is like a little bit of a putsy card. This is definitely not a card that I would make, you know, 25 of. But again, I like to dabble in fun techniques, and I think some of you guys do too. And so this is just kind of a fun technique, I think. So again, we're going to be careful, especially these bigger ones, because we don't want them to tear, because we actually want to use these, like I said. So we want to make sure that they're going to come off. Maybe we can get under there. And now I feel like some of this I probably should have had done already, so I didn't have to take so much time, but maybe you don't mind seeing the entire process. Okay, so we've come in here, and now we're going to gently lift these off. So there's probably a fine line between too much pixie spray and not enough pixie spray. So I probably erred on the side of making sure that I had enough, so maybe I had a little bit too much, but I definitely wanted to make sure that these stuck down so that I could get this cool effect with the ink. There we go. So they are coming off. It is just taking a little bit of time. So like I said, definitely not a card I would make 25 of, but you know. But you could probably do this with other things too. You could do it with hearts, like with pinks and reds. That would be fun. Or, you know, flowers, obviously, with lots of different shades of colors. With fall, you could do it with leaves, which would be really pretty. So I'm sure over the years we've had plenty of leaf dyes that you could use. Okay, we're getting closer. We're getting closer to the finished product here. Okay, and then we have these last two little pieces. There we go. Get that off. And then finally our corner piece. Come on, you. There we go. Get under that. Come over here. Get under that. And there we go. So again, it probably took a little longer than maybe it should, but even that in and of itself is pretty dang cool, right? But I decided because this is where I was going to stop. I was like, oh, that was my vision. But then when I saw these beautiful snowflakes, I thought, I just can't stop. I have to keep going. So I'm going to put these back down, but I'm going to kind of put them opposite. So, you know, instead of having them go back exactly where they were, I'm going to kind of put them so that their blue parts are in, and actually I better use regular glue. Since this is repositional adhesive, we don't want to just assume that it's going to stay on there because it might not. Now that we've tore it off, some of the stickiness is going to go away. So we want to make sure that it's going to stick. So I'm putting it opposite. So there's blue up here, purple down here. So I'm just kind of going opposite with it. Something like that. And then here's a little tiny purple. Whoops, that was way too much glue. And so I want to stick that kind of up here in the blue area. This little guy, since this is mostly all purple, we're going to put this up in the blue area. So something along these lines here. And then our corner piece, I'm going to stick up in the corner. Or you could take these and you could just put them on a layer of white and make, you know, a white card with these beautifully colored snowflakes. Ah, that's something I should have done. I wasn't thinking. Is what it is. Okay. And then this piece here, I'm going to put, it's got a little bit of blue. This one, I think I should have put more, I should have done more blue. Obviously, I should have done more blue and less purple. I didn't. It is what it is. So I'm going to put this down here just because it does have some blue in it. And then this one here, I'm going to stick right down here because it's got a lot of blue in it. And again, you don't need to put glue on every single arm of these snowflakes for them to look amazing. Even just a little bit here and there will work great. And you don't have to use even all of the snowflakes if you don't want to. If it doesn't work out that they're all going to fit on there, then, you know, don't use them all. And we'll put another blue one down here. And then I think we'll put this last blue one over here. And then I don't know as though I'm going to use that purple one that's left. I think we might just leave that. Maybe I'll put that right there. Okay, so that's what we have now. How cool does that look? I mean, honestly, that is pretty dang cool. Okay, so then this piece of white is 3 3/4 by 5. And we're going to mount it on a piece of balmy blue that is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. But before I do that, I'm going to trim off any like little pieces of white that, you know, are hanging over the edge, because we don't want them to be hanging over the edge. We want it to be nice and flush with the edge. So now I'll just go ahead and add a little bit of adhesive here. And then there's going to be just like an 1/8 of an inch border on this card, on this layer, that goes all the way around. So trying to make sure it's straight. There we go. Okay. Then I'm going to wrap some ribbon around this. but I'm going to cheat because you know I cannot wrap ribbon around cardstock. So I'm going to wrap it around my Pixie Spray bottle. No, actually, I don't think that's quite fat enough. We're going to go with our Stampin' Mist. This is a little bit fatter than the Pixie Spray bottle, so this should work pretty well. So I am going to tie myself a knot here. This is our Balmy Blue sheer ribbon. It is really pretty. I need some scissors. Okay. So here's my knot. So now what I want to do is I want to place this on my card. So I want my knot to be like about right here. So I'm going to hold that with my finger. I'm going to pull some of this loop off the edge. And that way I'm going to have a little piece here that I can wrap to the back and use some Scotch tape on, because you guys know I'm a big fan of using Scotch tape. Then I'm going to pull this over and tape it also. And then we can cut off the ends so that they look nicely finished and hopefully the same length. Okay, so I need to stamp a sentiment up here. So in the Snowflake Kisses stamp set, we have just all kinds of sentiments, like just tons of sentiments, lots of different things that kind of play along with the snowflake theme, and then just some other things as well. So I actually am going to use, where's my stamp? Will this one fit, or is this one not? Is this one too big? That should fit. This one says, what does it say? May the chill of winter be warmed by love and friendship. And I'm going to stamp that in my darkest color, which is Gorgeous Grape. And I'm going to stamp it up in that little area that's still kind of white. So we're just going to come over here and hopefully it's nice and straight. There it is. Okay. And then I'm going to mount this on a piece of Gorgeous Grape cardstock. So we are really playing with the purples and blues today. Loving it. At least I am. I don't know if you guys are. And I'm going to use dimensionals. And I've got some dimensionals here that I pulled off another sheet so I could throw it in the trash, because I do get lots of satisfaction about using a whole sheet of dimensionals. Like when they're gone, it's pretty satisfying. All right, so we're going to add this to our purple layer. Fantastic. And now we need to add a few embellishments. So I have two different embellishments here that I could use. I could use these fun little things that are new, our frosted iridescent dots, but I have some other cards to show with you. So I did put those on one. I haven't used these on a card yet. So I'm going to go ahead and use these. These are the Purple Fine Shimmer Gems. And I thought they would be perfect on this card. I can't see my, oh, here it is. I'm like, I lost my Take Your Pick tool. So I'm going to use the lighter ones up here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a gem in each of these. Well, that one I don't need to because it's covered up by the ribbon. In each of these centers of these snowflakes. Just because I thought that would be kind of fun. I mean, this is overkill. And again, like I have already said, this is not a card that you would make 25 of. This is a card you might make one of. But look how fun that is. And then we have our fun little gems on there. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And then for the inside, I took another piece of white and I just die cut that small little snowflake foursome there. And then I just laid it on my layer here and I just added each of the colors as I went along. And then I did come back in and put a little purple here and a little blue there. And so this is my inside piece. And then I can write my message. I could stamp Merry Christmas. I could stamp, you know, whatever I want. And then, like I said, I've got a couple more cards that I practiced on this morning so that I could figure out how to actually do this. And so I'll bring those in. They're all basically the same because I use the same colors. I honestly didn't think about using different colors because I really liked this. But so here's the one. This is the first one I did. And I kind of feel like I got a little bit better. I have like 3 colors on these snowflakes. So I don't know how in the world I was able to get like 3 colors on some of those. And then my second one was this one. And this one, I don't think I put enough blue. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe I put more. No, I got a lot of purple in there. I don't know what happened. Maybe this is a little darker. Maybe I put a little bit too much oomph into it. But this is, and this one I did use these little frosted gems here. So I have some blue ones and some purple ones on here, which are really pretty. And then here's my other one that I made. Like I said, they're basically all the same. I did use a different sentiment on this one. And then I have this one here. So it was a really fun technique to mess around with. I had a lot of fun creating them. And so I hope you guys enjoyed that. I thought that was a lot of fun. You know, you probably could also cut these snowflakes out of masking paper. I just now thought of that. You could cut these out of masking paper, and then you could just stick the masking paper down and then you could pull them up. But I don't think you could use the masking paper. Well, you could. Masking paper. Yeah, I suppose you probably could put the masking paper snowflakes back on. I was trying to think that out all the way to see if that would actually work. I think that it would. But anyways, so I hope you guys like that. I thought that was kind of fun, and I just thought they turned out really, really pretty. So yeah. All right, so let me make a little bit of room here for all of my other things that I need to bring in for my next project. Okay, so we can push these blocks over to the side and I won't mess around with them. That. Okay, and then my scissors I'll probably need again. So, all right. Now we're going to bring in a super, super simple card that you could make 25 of. And we're going to be using the other Snowflake die set. This one actually comes, this is in the mini catalog. It's the Snowy Delights. It also comes with decorative masks, okay, that you could use with your blending brushes and make some amazing things. I actually have a project planned for the blending brushes, but I'm not using that one today. So anyways, we are going to use this large stamp, obviously, sentiment, and then we're going to use a bunch of these dies. So let me pull out what I can that I've kind of had to pre-do here. Okay, so in this die set, we have very large snowflakes, as you can probably see. And again, I did have to get that off the internet so that I could remember what snowflakes go with what. So we have a very large snowflake. And then we have a less large snowflake. This one actually matches the stamped image in the stamp set. So this one here is that. Then we have this very detailed snowflake that you can see I have just cut out of white. Nothing special about it. I didn't put any adhesive on the back because I wanted to have the arms of the snowflake kind of be free. So I'm only going to put adhesive around the center part here. And then I have this one. This is the smallest of the snowflakes, and this one I cut out of Pretty in Pink. Same thing, I'm going to just kind of go around. You know what I was thinking? You could probably cut all these snowflake arms off, and you could have a fun little flower. I just thought of that. And then we have this die here that is used to make a little thing like this. You could put this all over your card. I just put it on the corner of my inside layer because my card is going to be pretty in pink, so that when I have my inside layer inside of it, we have a little bit of pink snowflakes that's going to show through that I thought was kind of fun. So those are the dies. Oh, whoops, I almost broke that. And then we have a little label die. This is a little oval label die that we are going to use also. Okay, so we have our card base. Let me get these dies out of the way. Then I also wanted another white layer on my card, and I don't know if you can see this. I'm hoping that the camera's picking this up. This is one of our brand new folders. This is one of our new online exclusives. It's going to come out for customers in November, but right now, if you're a demonstrator, you can order this. And if you are joining Stampin' Up! In the month of October with our fantastic special, you can add this to your kit if you wanted to. So this is actually called, pull it in here, it's called the Beautiful Pattern Embossing Folder. It's a regular sized folder. It is a 3D, and then it does give this very subtle kind of background, which is kind of what I was going for. I didn't want something like in your face because we've got this giant snowflake action going on the front, and so I didn't want to have my folder kind of take away from the giant snowflake. So we also have our, this is a piece of smoky slate, and I am going to bring in that super large stamp, and I need some ink that I have hiding back here behind my iPad. So I'm going to use the smoky slate on the stamp itself. So I've got it on our largest block, and it's face up, and that's how I'm going to ink it, because I find that to be the easiest way for me not to get ink all over the block, even though I probably am getting some on there anyway, but I would get less ink that way. All right, so I think this piece of paper should be big enough. Yes. Okay. So there is our fun snowflake. And then, like I said, that second to largest die, cuts that out, and then this is what you end up with. Okay. So I have cards where I just did the die cut without stamping it first. And then I have the card where we're going to do it today or live here with the die cut as it's been stamped, because I kind of wanted to see how they would both look. So what we're going to do here is now we're going to layer our snowflakes together. You can see this detailed one lays on here really nicely, covers that right up. And so I'm just going to add a little glue around that kind of circle space, and then this kind of circle space here. It's not really a circle, it's more like a snowflake. Okay, and so then I'm going to kind of lay it down and finagle it around so that all of the arms kind of fall into place where they're supposed to go. I think we got that. And then I'm going to add this. So you can see how that this would be a very simple card. You don't even have to do the stamping if you don't want to. You could just die cut all of these snowflakes, and then you're just going to layer them all together. And like I said, I kind of just wanted to do the middle so that the arms are kind of floating free, so it just gives a little bit more 3D effect to that. So then we have our detailed embossed piece that I'm going to add to the front of the card. And since it is embossed, I am going to take a little bit more care and kind of go all the way around with my glue. Not a thick bead of glue, just a really thin bead of glue. But just to make sure that I do get the whole thing covered with glue. Okay, I keep forgetting to check the comments. Okay, oh yeah, you guys did like my technique. Yay! And some of you are going to try it. Awesome, I'd love to hear that. I would love to see your creations. I do have my Facebook page, Stampin' is my job, and if you guys want to post them there, I should put a post up so you could post them. I'd love to see what you guys come up with. Okay, so here's my snowflake. I'm going to add that to my card. I'm just going to throw a little glue, and I'm just going to set it about right here. Okay, then I have my little label that's in this die set, and I have my little stamp that says a warm hello. And so, whoops, I need to ink that up in basic gray. I need it to be a little bit darker. And I know not everybody is a pink fan for Christmas, so I do have a blue one that I made to show you what it could look like. I mean, you could make it with any colors. You could make it with purple, you could make it with Night of Navy, you could make it with Peacock, Lost Lagoon. I mean, the options are endless. And so I just like pink and gray together for Christmas, specifically when you're doing like snowy things. Like last year we had that fun sled. I loved making that pink and gray. And then this year we have more snowflakes, and so I love making those pink and gray also. And here is a dimensional. So because there's so much poofiness on this snowflake, I'm only putting a dimensional on the edge of my label, and then I'm going to add some glue. Because coming in here, I'm going to kind of have it laying on top of some of these snowflake arms, and since they are not glued down, they're a little bit 3D-ish or whatever. So yeah, okay, so we have that. Simple, simple, simple. So now we just need some embellishments. What do we want to use? I thought maybe those pretty in pink gems, or what else do we have here? Or we have these amazing snowflake gems. These are called faceted snowflakes, which are super pretty. But I do have a card with them already. Oh my gosh, you know what I did? This layer was supposed to be on something else. Ugh. Okay, this is what I do when I screw up like this. I am just going to cut around this embossed piece, and we're going to get a new card base, because I was like, something is not right here. It's because I have too much of a gap. I don't like that. Okay, so we're just going around, we're cutting it off of the front. Nobody's going to know that I've done this. Well, I guess unless I mailed it to one of you guys, then you would be like, ah, this is that card that she screwed up. Because you know, I am all about tips on how to fix stuff. So, I don't think I could have pulled that off with all the glue that I had on there, and I didn't want to take the chance of, potentially ruining one of my snowflake arms or something like that. So for me, the best way to handle this is to just put that aside. I'll use that layer for something else and get a new card base. And I happen to have one already cut and ready to go. So here it is. At least I think this one might be too wide. Is this a 5.5? Hold on, let me check. Oh, it is. Okay, so there we go. I also had a gray layer that I wanted to put. So this is 3 3/4 by 5. This is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And so I wanted to add just a tiny bit of gray to come out, just because. So we're going to do that now after I screwed that up. But typically when I screw something up, it's pretty rare that I can't fix it. You know what I mean? Without like doing the whole card over. So I'm pretty good at fixing my mistakes. So there, yes, immediately I already like it. It looks better. Okay. And you could probably die cut this large gray snowflake out of this layer, so you wouldn't even be using extra cardstock. You'd just be putting this layer on anyway and adding the snowflake from the middle. Okay, there. See, doesn't that look better? I think it looks better. Otherwise, I had too much pink border, and that was not going to work for me. Okay, so I have these on a different card that I want to share with you. So I'm going to try these pretty in pink gems and see what these look like. Because, you know, I just like messing around with stuff and see what we can come up with. So obviously, we're going to stick a large one right in the middle. If we can get that. It's almost like it's just not quite big enough to stick in the middle, but we got it. Okay, then I'm going to do this medium-sized one right here and a small one right there, and maybe another medium-sized one, maybe right down here. Oh, those are so pretty. Okay, what was I going to do with, oh, and this is my inside piece. So when I glue this in, you'll see that the nice pretty and pink card base layer will kind of poke its little head through there, so we can get a little bit of pink on the inside. I'm being kind of careful. I don't want to add, you know, a ton of glue on these little spots because I don't want it to squish out and, you know, get everywhere, but I want to make sure that I have, you know, enough. Okay, so we're going to stick this on the inside. There we go. And so many of you are saying that you love pink and gray together. So do I. It's just like the most beautiful Christmas colors. I don't know what it is. Then we're going to go with a little bit of baker's twine. Here's some white. We probably have had over the years, we've probably had other colors that you could work with. But I'm just going to go with white. And I'm just going to tie a little bow with this twine. And then we're going to manipulate it so that we can get it to be the size that we want it. And I think I'm going to snip that off so it's out of my way. That's a little bit too big, those loops. And then I'm going to try to pull it nice and tight. There we go. And then I'm going to do my little roll up a glue dot like a log or a little tube or whatever. So we're going to roll that up to like a little tube. And then I'm going to add it to the back of my piece of twine here. And then I'm just going to kind of add that right here on the edge. Now, you probably don't have to do this little thing here. I just thought it would be kind of fun just to have a little bit of twine there. So that's what we have so far. Then I pulled in my Merry Christmas stamp from the Ornamental Christmas, the Modern Christmas Sweet stuff. And I'm going to stamp Merry Christmas on the inside of my card in some basic gray. And is that even? Okay. I was like, dang, did I stamp that totally crooked, or did I put that layer in there crooked? I couldn't tell. And so there is what we have. So pretty. I love it. Okay. So now here is another card that I did. Now this one I didn't add the gray layer, but you can see that my layer itself is bigger, so I don't have such a gap of pink around the edge. So this one I did use those little sparkling snowflakes. Here they are. What are they called again? Faceted snowflakes. So I did use those on this card here. So they definitely are snowflake shaped and they are sparkly. They're like giant rhinestones. They're really pretty. And then I did make one out of balmy blue and gray. For those of you that might not appreciate pink, I decided to go ahead and give you a little blue action too. And so for these, I used the Druzy, I think they're called Druzy embellishments. And oh my gosh, I forgot to put one in the middle there. I'm going to have to get mine out and stick one in the middle. But here's a blue, just in case you are not a fan of pink and gray, you could go blue and gray. So I thought that was pretty fun. Got to be a little careful with my little snowflake arms. I mean, you could glue them all the way down. I just thought they're kind of fun, just kind of flapping around there a little bit, you know. So that's what I have for you guys tonight. I hope you enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun making the projects tonight for you. I really need to start putting these things on my blog. One of these years I will. And then here's my little blended snowflake cards. Love this so much. I think this one's probably my favorite just because of the way I got the blues together and everything. I don't know how it worked out like this, but it just really worked out good. So I mean, they all come out different, of course, you know what I mean? So you're never going to get the same look twice, which is kind of cool because then it's definitely a handmade card. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Remember, the free shipping special goes on through tomorrow night. The join special for $35 goes on through the end of business next Friday, the 31st, Halloween. And what else? The Modern Christmas class. And I do have Christmas cards for sale. If you don't make your own cards or you just want some ideas of some cards, there is a link to the Christmas cards in the description of the video. And thanks again, you guys, for everything. All of you that have sent me cards and gifts and messages of encouragement. And I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. So I will see you guys here next week, the day before Halloween, Halloween Eve. Maybe I'll wear a costume. I'll put that on my calendar. All right, guys, I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.